3, 2, 1. Four, 3, 2, 1. We are on air. YPG Unlocked. Because in the YPG, we got too much sauce.
The day I went to school for the first time, the day I broke my arm, the day I got my first certificate. Oh wow, okay, wait, I'm gonna get back to that one. Getting awarded top achiever, getting my matric results, admitted to tertiary. Birthday surprise party, 2018 Ellis Park event, my friend's birthday outing. Yo, that's a real friend. My mom used to beat me and I developed anger towards her. I blame my parents for my matric results. My primary principal slapped me for noticing I didn't do... Okay, I don't know what's the rest, but primary school principal. My mom buying me a cell phone and it got broken the same day. Yo. My father buying me a bike and it got stolen. Whoever you are, look for the mentor and ask them to tell you a little bit about tithe. That should help. The day my mom was abused by my stepfather, the day I was told that I'm a nyaupe, the day my own mother turned her back on me, telling me that if only I knew that you will give me trouble, I would have aborted you. If only I knew you would give me trouble, I would have aborted you. Okay. The day I went to watch the Soweto derby in Bombela Stadium, I went to play soccer with my cousin, Ronaldo. And then you fell off the bed and woke up from the dream. You didn't mention that. The first time I worked on a war cry with student Mpumi and brother Don. My first time at Gold Reef City with my family. My granddad put me in the air. In 2010, when I was in grade 1, when I was in grade... Wait. In 2010, when I was in grade, it doesn't have the grade, I fell coming from the tuck shop and I have a scar on my left knee, scar left on my knee. Whenever I look at it, I just remember that day. Okay. Can I have just a few more? Like I said, I won't be able to read all of them. I just want to read some Do we have more? I'm assuming that is from One Nation. I pooed myself in grade 4 doing my orals. I had bad breath talking to my principal of Jippy Boys in an interview. 2011, talking to my granny for the last time. Being a top achiever in the whole country, high rolling other candidates, sorry. Your handwriting is like mine, difficult to read. The way my parents raised me and how to be under the house of God till today, still dwelling thanks to my parents. The day I joined the netball team, the day I last saw my mother in a coffin, first day going to stay alone. AKA's concert, Boyti's concert, touching a snake for the first time. I'll never forget the singing event, never forget my first day at college, never forget the netball event, the last one. We're glad that we actually made an impact in your life. Not this impact, an impact. No, I'm not taking shots, don't be offended. Top 10 primary school, first girlfriend, bachelor's graduation. First time I won an academic award. Picked 50 rand on the floor at the age of 10. Money means a lot to you. It was last year I was playing soccer with my church mates. What 7 goals on that day? I scored 7 goals on that day. It was a great day that I had. Okay, this one was mixed with the one we read. All night prayer, YPG with Soweto. Our most memorable moments was when they threw me a 13th birthday party. The day I found out I was eligible for graduation. The day my little sister, who is an albino, was born. I'm going to read just these last ones. This one, can't say properly. I am... Because and do the... Yo, guys, I can't read that, eh? I really can't read it, I don't know what's going on. Got my car, clocked school, MD. When I was in this terrible accident happening... when I saw this terrible accident happening in front of me. I won't be able to read all of them, thank you, Irene. But the reason why I asked you to write down a memorable event in your life, I didn't ask you to write anything good or anything bad. You simply wrote down what came to your mind, what came to your memory at that moment. The most impacting ones are actually the sad ones, the bad events. And today I'm going to recap more or less on last week's theme, similarly from last week's theme where we were talking about the past. Noticing that many, and I could say many young people, they just can't seem to move forward because of the power the past has in their lives. You can't be in the past, in the present, and in the future at the same time. You need to pick one. The past is an event which has already gone. It's the past. You can't go back. And there is not a single person in this room who does not wish to go back to the past and fix something you did. Whether it was a year ago, a month ago, years ago. All of us have a past filled with good things and also bad things. Moments and events in our lives which we wish we could fix them. If AKA knew that he was going to be killed that Friday evening, I doubt he would be where he was. I doubt he would have been there, but he couldn't fix that. Did he know that those guys would be there ready to kill him? Of course not. But you can't change the past. You can't fix yesterday. You can't go back. It would be nice if we could. It's like when you're watching something on TV and you get to rewind it and watch it again. You're watching something on YouTube and you get to rewind it and watch it again. If only life was that easy. But guess what? It's not. But we have the choice, the decision in our lives to give power to the bad events or to the good events. And although in your memory you might not ever have the power to forget those bad memories, one thing you can extract from the bad memory, it's a lesson. It's a lesson. And sometimes we wonder, PJ, you're telling me a lesson. There's nothing good, there's nothing positive out of what I faced. As one of the ones we wrote, seeing your mother being abused by the stepdad, and your mother telling you what your mother said to you. I don't know who you are, but I want to say to you that just because your mother said she would have aborted you, which by the way, I don't think she meant that. It may just have been out of an emotional reaction. But even if she meant that, those words only have power if you give those words power. Those words will only come to life if you give life to those words. What about the moments you were told something positive? What about the moments you were told that you're amazing? What about the moments you were told that you were beautiful? What about the moments which somebody said, I appreciate you? What about those moments? Why is it that the bad event you remember, but the good have forgotten? Not everybody remembers the scars, the good events. Generally, people will remember the scars of their pains of the past. And today's theme is the rearview mirror. Why the rearview mirror? Because many have their lives stuck or their eyes glued on the rearview mirror. If you're driving, when you're driving, although there are some drivers, it's like they don't look in their mirrors, but in actual fact, you should look in your mirror. Whenever you turn, you look. But you don't constantly look into the mirror. You need to look mainly to the front. I would say 70-80% of your time driving, you are looking in front. Although nowadays drivers, they're looking in front, but they look more on their cell phones. It's like 50% they're on their cell phone, 20% on their mirrors, and the remainder they'll be looking 30% in front. But my point here is that if you don't want to crash, the greater you want to reduce the risk of crashing, you keep your eyes in front, and every once in a while you look on the rearview mirror. You look what's going on behind you. You look what's going on, the cars behind you, what's happening behind you, but you don't focus on what's happening behind you. You focus in front. And this is a lesson, an analogy which I want you to take and apply it in your life from this day onwards. Stop being stuck to the past. Stop focusing on the rearview mirror. You need to look at it, but look at the past as a reference. Don't use the past to become your residence, because you might be dwelling in the past. You might be stuck. Your mind might always admit you to your failures. You never remember the moments you succeeded. You only remember the moments which you failed. Why did you fail? Take the lessons and use it for you to have a successful future. I'm going to say a prayer shortly for you. And I'm going to pray with all of those papers. But I'm going to ask God to give you the strength to overcome your past. We did it last week. Last week's theme was also linked to this when we were talking about the full memory, like a cell phone's full memory, because there are too many things. But I want you today to learn that out of every negative situation, you can make something positive out of it. Every moment you lose, go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, why did I lose, so that I can win the next time? Stop crying over spilt milk. Stop crying over the losses. And I know that it's easier said than done. Somebody wrote something that I can relate to. They said the last time I spoke to my granddad or grandmom, I remember that as well. And I remember, ironically, my granddad was saying to me, I don't think you're going to see me again because my days are fading. And I said to him, don't say that. I'm going to come see you. And a couple of weeks later, he passed on. I remember how devastated I was, but I can't go back. I can't go back. What brings me joy is that he was an atheist, but before he converted, he gave his life to Jesus. That consoles me. That brings me peace. But even if he hadn't converted, well, I couldn't do anything about it. But that is a lesson for me to be wise with my choices, to be wise with my decisions. Your mother said something negative to you. Don't take those words to granted. Don't take them to heart. Don't allow yourself to be stuck to those words. One day you're going to have a child. Look at me, please. Don't focus there on the camera. Look at me. One day you are going to have your child. Take that as a lesson that one day you're not going to treat your child the same way you were treated. You're a guy and you never had a father figure. Your dad was never present in your life. Your dad never cared for you. That doesn't mean that you need to become that kind of a father or a fatherless figure to your child. Be a role model because you never had one. And I can say this because my dad was exactly that person to me. He would give me everything. Obviously, he was strict. He is strict. My dad was strict. But he would give me things and he would remind me, I wish I had my dad to be here for me. But he reminded me that my dad was never here for me, so I vowed that I will be there one day when I have a kid. So you see that he chose to look forward. And that made me the man I am today. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have such a good father figure. So you might say to yourself, PJ, you don't know what it is to not have a good father. You don't know what it is to have a fatherless, to be fatherless. Really, I don't. But I come from someone who was present for me because he decided to invert the situation. You can do the same. Take the past, learn the lessons from it. There are great moments in our lives, and even those great moments, we can't go back to them. Even the good moments, you can't go back to them. Everybody remembers in primary school we used to pass. It's primary school, everybody was a top achiever. Everybody, notice everybody says, yo, grade 11, it's hard, but in primary school I was a top 10. Yeah, all of us were. All of us were. Take that and remind yourself that today you can also be a top achiever. You didn't get dumb. You didn't become stupid all of a sudden. No. The thing is, the work got harder and maybe you got lazier. Maybe in primary school you were more motivated than you are today. We were mentioning this yesterday in the Viber clock. That's very interesting. When we were kids, we were fearless. Look at a child. Why do you have to, those of you who have young siblings, why do you have to keep watching a child? Because a child, if you just leave them, they'll do crazy stuff. They'll jump off a bridge. They'll jump off. They don't stop. Kids don't think like, if I get there, I'm going to hurt myself. Nah, they're fearless. We were like that. You were like that. We were all like that. Today, when we were kids, we would see insects. We'd play with them. I remember with my friends, there was this blue-headed lizard. We would take those lizards and chase them. I remember my friends, they took crackers and they put it in the thing's mouth and it blew up and stuff. We were kids and we were laughing about it. Today, if I see a lizard, hey. We were fearless. But we grew. Obviously, there are things that we can't become like kids. We know that if you jump from the 10th floor, you're going to die. You learn that. But there's something we need to learn from kids is this: be fearless. Kids, the other day, one of our YPG members, she was there with her child there. We just ended the hangout and he was running around and he fell. And I told her, don't look at him, ignore him. Because she was running to him. I said, act like you didn't see it. He looked at her and he saw that she wasn't paying attention to him. He got up and he kept running again. Why is it that when we grow older and we fall in life, we look at that and we say, I'm a failure. I fell, we give up. But when we were babies, when we were kids, walking there, we would fall and we would get up again. Because the kids, you know very well, if you look at them, you say, no, then they, But if you ignore them, they look, yeah, you're not going to listen to me. Fine, I'm going to run again. That's how kids are. That's how we were all. Who teaches a child to walk? You don't say put your... You don't. You just see them walking on their own. They fall, they get up again. It's a natural instinct we have as kids. You do something to a kid he doesn't like, he fights you, complains that moment, give him a sweet. Be like, chocolate, forgive me. It's over. Let's go to Gold Reef. Since somebody said Gold Reef, let's go to Gold Reef. The child forgets it. We get older, we keep, no, I remember what you did, I'll never forgive you. We keep holding on to the past. And that weighs us down. That weighs us down and stops us from moving forward. Your life, imagine, it's a car. It's driving at 300 kilometers an hour on the highway. You can't keep looking at their rearview mirror, because if you keep looking at their rearview mirror, you are going to crash. I want to say to you that if you're always dwelling in the past, you're always nostalgic, you're always talking about the past, you're always looking at what you lost, you're still stuck in the past. But God is saying to you today, get rid of the past, give me the present, I'll give you a great future. God is saying that to you. But the past and the past, we can't go back. I wish I could go back in time as well. I wish. I would be lying to you if I don't wish. I wish there are many things I would have undone last year, the year before, many years of my life, I wish I could have fixed. But guess what? I can't. But I can fix the present and overcome tomorrow. You can do the same. Maybe that failure was your fault, or maybe it wasn't your fault. You were born into that failure, into that ditch of life. But you can get out of that ditch and you can be successful. But that success relies on you moving forward. Just to finalize, many of the most successful people on earth, successful who made a difference, they are people who failed in life. Go and research the history of Colonel Sanders, who was the man who started KFC, of which all of you here like KFC. When I say all of you, I mean majority. Gosh, some of you are like, I'm vegan, PJ. I became vegan 5 minutes ago. I just decided I have to look forward. I don't want to look to the past, so no more eating meat. Yeah, right. Shai Brai here, you'll be the first day. But everybody knows KFC. He only started KFC when he was over 60. They told him his chicken was rubbish. But he came up with an idea, which KFC is not just KFC. There are others who want to be KFC wannabes. The cheap ones. You know, the cheap imitations. Sorry, I had to because it's recorded here, so this is going online. So, who took that idea? The idea which many people rejected. Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb. I don't know how many times he failed. He was told that his ideas were pathetic. Presidents who said that they would never amount to nothing. Einstein, everybody knows Einstein. We use the expression, he's an Einstein because he's what? A genius. His teachers told him things like that. You'd never be much. All the great successful people, somewhere they had a hurdle in their lives where nobody believed, where people said this is rubbish. Do you know how Lamborghini was born? Lamborghini, you know the car Lamborghini. He was a rich guy who used to buy Ferraris. One day he bought a Ferrari which was not working well. He was rich. But one day it was not working well. The gearbox was giving him issues. He went back and he used to make tractors. He was manufacturing tractors. And he went to the owner of Ferrari and said, this car's not working well. The gearbox keeps breaking. Enzo Ferrari, who was the man who started Ferrari, turned to him and said, stick to making tractors, I'll make cars. And because he was so angry at that, he decided he'll make his own luxury brand car. And today, everybody who would be just buying Ferrari, there's Ferrari and there's Lamborghini as well. And the list goes on of people who failed and failed and failed. What was their secret? They did not live in the past. They did not live looking at the rearview mirror. Get out of that. Get out of the past. They told you were a failure Become a winner and prove it to yourself. Don't prove it to anybody. You owe no one an explanation. You only owe yourself an explanation. Move forward. And I know sometimes many of you, I know the mentors know, we know that I know that many of you are hurting because of your past. Abuse, rejection, hurting. You're a few minutes here with us, you enjoy yourself, you can be free. And just thinking about going back home is like, oh, that place. We know that. But you can take the peace that is here within you. You can have this peace the moment you let go of the past here. Forgetting what happened, probably you won't forget. You probably won't forget it, but you can overcome it here. Don't give power to the past ever again. The past is in your mind, but the future is in your hands. You decide what you're going to do with the future. Please stand up there where you are. We are going to pray. But the prayer is not enough if you don't decide to get rid of the past, to progress, to look forward, and to no longer give power to the past. Maybe it's not just the past, but you're giving power to someone in your life. Every time you see that person, your blood boils. You've given power to that person. People who hate me, who dislike me, I'm indifferent about them. There are people who dislike me. There are people who hate me. I'm indifferent about them. Like, you know when you just see something like, have you ever tried getting the attention of someone, especially when you like that person, and that person shies you with a bomb, just ignores you? Like, hey, how are you doing? That kind of stuff. Ah, chummy. That's my reaction to people who, not deliberately making her feel bad or that person feel bad, just doesn't really make a difference in my life. Focus on you. If you have a grudge inside of you, you hate someone, you don't know how much power you've given that person over your life. Get rid of it now. And I'm going to make things worse for you. Can I make things worse? You said yes. You're going to pray for that person now. Not, yes, Lord, make her die. You're going to pray for that person to succeed. Yo, PJ, yes. You're going to pray for things to go well in that person's life. You're going to pray that that person finds Jesus. Say, Lord, you've given me a chance. Give him a chance. I'm sorry, I'm going to get into the biblical side just before we pray. Think about Jesus. And on that cross, people were spitting on him. People were beating him up. And he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. We represent those who are stoning Jesus. But still he forgives us. Forgave us and continually forgives us. So who are we not to forgive others? Whenever we keep a grudge, it's like this. Come here, come here. Come. Climb on my back here. Climb on my back. Obviously I was going to get you. You think I was going to get someone heavy? I was going to get socks or someone here. He's here right now. He's not heavy. He's not weighing down on me. But if I want to run, it's not going to be as easy. Hold on tight. Hopefully we don't fall. Né? Now he's choking me here. But if I keep him here for another 5 minutes, stay there, it's going to start getting heavy. Not going to start, it started. This is the grudge. You're trying to move forward, but thank you. Done. Yeah, you can go back, man. Your seat is there. Show him his seat. But that's what grudges, hatred does to you. But when that heavy weight comes out, now I can run. Now I can speed. I can go wherever because I'm free. Get rid of that grudge today. Get rid of your past today. What you're going to say, PJ, I don't know how to pray. You're just going to say, my past is in your hands. I'm not worried about it anymore. What's going to happen here onwards, it's not my problem. It's with you. Forgive those who hurt you. Pray for that person today, now. Don't wait, be like, no, I'll pray at home. No, pray now. Lord, I forgive that person. It's going to be hard even to pronounce the name of that person. Forgive my mom, forgive my dad for what they did. My dad who was never there for me. My mom who said that to me and it hurts me. That man or that woman, who abused me, that person who did this to me. Forgive. I'm not saying forgiveness does not mean now we become chummies. Oh, you abused me, now we're best friends. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with just not allowing that person to have the power over your life ever again. You take that power and you say, God, the power is now yours. You will have peace like never before. Got it?
Botani bahlobo nosapho. Ndiyaxolisa kodwa oku kumele ndikwenze. Kubonakala ngathi kuphela kwendlela endinothi ndibaleke obubomi benhlungu. Ndizame konke kodwa akho nanye endisebenzeleyo. Kwaye akukho namnye umuntu oyiqondayo lonto kuni. Ndidiniwe ukuphila kodwa ndingaphili ubomi. Ezingxaki azifuni ukundinika ukuphumla. Ndidiniwe ukuphila kunye nazo.
I tried getting rid of the interior problems, but unfortunately anxiety isn't an item I could return to the store, and depression does not ask for permission when it invades one's life.
Ngizamile ukuthoba izinhlungu kodwa kwenzeka umonakalo kuphela engqondweni yami. Ngizamile ukukhuluma ngezinhlungu zami kodwa umsindo wezwi awuvuma ngithi ngiyazama.
Ngipithile khutlong ya go ka fetiša ka bohloko. Ntshepe ge ke re ke lekile mekgwa e mengwe ya go fetiša ka bohloko e fela ga gona se se ntšhometšeng.
Ndo lingedza u shumisa zwikambi na zwidzidzivhadzi nda ya kha inthanethe ndi tshi ndi ṱoḓa dakalo fhedziha mbuelo ho vha u ṱungufhala na vhuṅwe vhuṱungu vhuhulu kha zwoṱhe zwe nda lingedza a hu na tshe tsha mbuyedza.
Tshiatebe o mamele marangrang le ho kgema ka dinao. Di nkile thothomolong di nketse ka ke tshwane le ba bang empa di nkile boitshepo ba ka.
Wat? Vriende, ek het dit ook probeer. Ek het myself omring met 'n klomp mense. Maar selfs al het ek dit gedoen, was ek nog steeds oorweldig met eensaamheid. So, ek kan nie meer nie.
Glo my, dis nie dat ek selfsugtig is nie. Maar ek is moeg om ander mense se persoonlikheid te imiteer. Ek wens ek kon net myself wees.
Akujami, akukataleleki bonyana wenze njalo. Ungathini nengatshela bonyana awusiwedwa. Ungathini nengathi kuwe ngiyasazi leso simo, ngidlulile kiso. Kodwana uqaleki njengomuntu ohlakako begodu ukhuluma ngokudlulileko.
It seems like the only way to escape this life of pain. I've tried everything else, but none of them worked. And none of you gets it. Exactly. That's because I'm no longer there. I've overcome and made it to the other side.
And you can also overcome. Just like I did. I found help and happiness in the arms of the Savior.
Ngidlulile lapho.
Ek was al daar.
Ndisuka apho.
Ndofira haneko.
I've been there.
Nami ngiphuma khona.